Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 21. Today's topic, dogs. They're too pure for this world, and we don't deserve them. Find out about all that more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
Yeah, they're definitely too pure. Speaking of that, actually, we've been at work lately, Tom always shows me pictures of dogs, mostly corgis. And even if he's not showing me them, when I walk by, I see him on his phone and he's looking at dogs.
Nice.
Really want a dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you have to pay extra, though, unfortunately, if you want to...
I do,
Oof.
and considering they just cut hours at work, I cannot afford a dog, much less heat.
Does it change things if it's a different size dog? Like, are you going to get a little chihuahua?
If it walks on the bare floor and can scratch it up, I need to pay.
Oof.
What if you give them like
That
little
sucks.
booties?
That is an idea.
Yes, dogs tend to not like that, though.
True.
Yeah, that's fair.
I learned that.
There's a really good Hobo Johnson song called I Want a Dog. About wanting a dog. It's a good song.
Wow, we all want to listen to more Hobo Johnson.
Dude,
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Peach Scone guy. You remember the Peach Scone song?
It's alright.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So I chose that as the intro because did you guys see this picture of Big Papa?
No.
No.
If
I
you
feel
want
like
to go,
something else is going to come up if I Google that.
I was like, you talking about Notorious B.I.G.?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I
pretty sure.
okay,
B.I.G.
if
Who
you
the hell's
Google
Big Papa?
if you Google Big Papa dog, I think I saw it on Instagram or Twitter. It's this adorable, pudgy little English bulldog puppy, just sitting there looking really sad because apparently he used to play with like the kids in
It's
the
not what
apartment
came up for
complex. Really? There's dog too?
Yeah, well, the first one that came up was a pit bull.
Huh?
Yeah, and then I don't see a single English bulldog puppy.
Under images,
Yes.
Big Papa dog.
BIGPAPA?
No,
Dog?
POPPA. Sorry.
So you
I like
spell
to
it like
think-
the BIG song. Okay.
I like to think Pat was using maps.
All I see is
Okay.
Edinburgh,
No, I have
England.
that.
What? Or Scotland. He's adorable. Look at him. He's got little paws. Pudgy.
Although
saw
I
him and I
suppose
felt
I
bad.
was typing in Big Papa.
Papa!
You were doing Papa. So that's admittedly on me. Big Papa.
I want to name a dog that now. I just talk to him in an English accent the whole time. Give him a little top
Would
hat.
that give your dog an English accent for its bark?
Rough. It'd be very
Dogs
formal.
have accents?
I mean, sounds like a good scientific study. You know, usually they intro like a topic.
I saw
is not
a post
the topic
on
of the
Reddit
episode,
once
but
that was
I wouldn't be
asking
opposed to
if-
just making this a dog episode.
Let's not
I
do that.
do.
Let's not do last minute changes like that. Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's interesting.
what's
So, welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your four favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, Devontae, and me, along with Tom the Tech Guy, will take a topic, delve into its past, discuss its present, and debate its dazzling future, and we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So whether you're watching a movie or playing a video game, sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause.
So Joey, what were you trying to say? Because you cut out there. Because the internet is a thing.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
It's happening again.
We're just going to mute Joey the rest of the podcast and move.
Oh god.
That's all right.
Quarantine's great,
I
man.
tend to ignore what he says even when we're talking in person. So
Oh, God. All right, so as you can tell, it's a video game episode. We got our purple logo back this week, and we're going to be talking about one of the greatest and biggest video game franchises of all time.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Are you ready to dance and step up and sideways and up and down? Because that's what we're doing.
It's not what we're doing.
No, it's not.
No,
we're
please, God, no.
we're
I
talking
can't
about Mario. It's his 35th anniversary this year, so we figured we'd do an episode on him, celebrating him, and we're gonna do something new this week: the first ever pause button debate. So each of our
We're
hosts
debating how old Mario is.
he's 35.
No, but like as a character.
I'm gonna say I
Is he
think
meant to be in
32.
his 20s?
Is he like Ash from Pokemon? Does he never age?
I think that's fair
assuming.
to say. I mean, he's been around for 35 years. He's not like got a white mustache and a cane. Unless he
I
dies.
think he's 21.
Really?
I think he grew a mustache early.
Wait,
I
who's the older brother? Is it Mario or Luigi?
think Luigi.
He's taller,
Right.
right?
He's the taller one. I know that.
I'm pretty sure it's Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought it was Mario.
So-
Well, then there we go.
So Luigi's like a teenager then.
Maybe.
What?
I mean, he could just be 20, and Mario's
They're
21.
both teenagers.
Mario is 24 years old. Creator Miyamoto says.
He's 24.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Huh? I wasn't far off.
That's I said 32. I was way off, huh? 24.
So why were you ageist about this? Is it because he's a plumber?
Well, I think it's because he's fat and has a mustache.
We're not here to debate his age. That was never. I mean, we could, but.
Mario ain't even fat anymore. He lost.
All right.
No, yeah, he's been looking.
Looking
He's
kinda
definitely.
slim.
Yeah, he's still a little thick.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
He's not
But
Luigi.
he's definitely
skinny.
not. He's not Super Mario Brothers 3 fat anymore.
Yeah.
That was the fattest he ever got.
You're right.
It's pretty big. That's fair. That's fair. Here's how this debate's gonna go. Each of our hosts has picked one of the main title Mario games to submit to the judge, which this week it's me, I'm the judge, to be the best Mario game. This episode is gonna be limited to the main games, and we'll do the spin-offs at another time, like Mario Kart and Mario Party, and of course Paper Mario, and all that fun stuff. That'll be another one. So the games that they had an option of choosing were Super Mario Bros. 1, the original one, 2, 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, Sunshine on the GameCube, Galaxy 1 and 2 on the Wii, and then Odyssey, which came out on the Switch 3 years ago. So those are the ones that they could pick from. Which games did you guys choose?
I chose Super Mario Brothers Odyssey, the newest mainline Mario game. So that's my choice.
It's a quality choice right there. A lot of people like that game. Joey,
Yeah.
what did you pick?
I picked Galaxy.
Oh, well, that's a terrible choice.
Oh,
Devontae, what did you pick?
I also chose Galaxy.
That's a great choice, Devontae. I really like that game. So we have a team here. Joey and Devontae have now combined to be. Do you guys want a team name?
Why would they want a team name?
I mean, they can have one if they want one. They don't have to.
Maybe we know who they are.
I could call them Giovante or
Doe?
Doe.
Are they,
Doe?
Are they dating? Is it a couple name?
Temporarily.
We didn't even discuss this before the podcast.
You guys,
What the
you guys, would make, you guys would make a cute gay couple. I'll say
thank
it.
you.
Damn right.
I'll say it. Yeah.
And Tom, what game did you pick?
The correct answer, Super Mario Sunshine.
Shots have already been fired. Going back to that GameCube era with the guys with the big noses and the grass skirts. Okay. So, since we are debating what the best Mario game is, I feel like we need to say what best means. So, as the judge, my opinion of best is that this game, more than any of the others, achieved what it set out to do. So, positive reviews, fan reactions, successful risks or changes that it made, like Super Mario 64 going 3D and stuff like that, and like a lasting legacy, obviously like the original Mario. Those are all good things that will help your case. But if you can prove to me that this game set out what its vision was and they did it to a T, then that's going to be what best means to me, as you're now all-powerful and an important judge. So, let's go to some opening statements. I'm going to start off with Tom. Give your opening statement for Sunshine.
Well, Sunshine was the second iteration of a 3D Mario game. It was a successor to Mario 64. It at first was pretty well received. I think over time, especially afterwards, it dipped within the fandom. But overall, I think the colorful atmosphere of Isle Delfino, along with the cleaning utensil that Mario picks up within the first, I think, 20 minutes of the game, called Flood, really lends to a charismatic game about pollution in the world and cleaning it up. An overall statement about that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's move on to our team, Devontae and Joey.
Before we start with the opening statements, I just want to say that I've decided that our team name should be Guardians of the Super Mario Galaxy. And I also want to say that it's specifically not Guardians of the Super Mario Galaxy 2, because we all know Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was much worse than the first
We are not here to debate that. I swear to God, I will put you in contempt of court, sir. I really like that movie, and I think it's great. But
Devontae, how about you take the charge now?
Okay. Well, Super Mario Galaxy was the game after Super Mario Sunshine that came out on the Wii. And it's basically about Mario basically went to the Star Festival when you introduce a new character, Rosalina, which I think is one of the better princesses. This included the new controls for the Wii, the Wii U nunchuck. Other than getting right into like little details, I think that being in space is pretty cool, and they did a good job of portraying a spatial themed Mario.
space is indeed pretty cool. I have to agree with you there. Pat, for the newest one, we got Odyssey. What do you got to say about Odyssey?
So, Super Mario Odyssey is an adaptation of Homer's Odyssey, and as such, is a classic just by its very nature. However, on a more serious note, it is a game that fully fleshes out its world and its mechanics. The introduction of the character of Cappy as a way of both possessing and controlling enemies for new abilities and a way of traversing the areas makes for a constantly interesting and compelling gameplay with there always being something new. Each world has so many different like secret areas to find, and if you are willing to explore, the game rewards you as you find piles of gold and new moons to power your ship with. The game finishes, and then you're not even close to being done. There's so many more moons to find. The worlds have added new things to them. Yeah, it's just a crazy fun game with crazy fun mechanics that I really hope we get to see more of, because much like Super Mario Galaxy, which fleshed itself out with 2, I think Super Mario Odyssey could really go for a second one to continue to use its mechanics to its fullest.
All right, very well said. I really like what you said about Cappy there. I feel like now is a great time for me to mention that of these games, I feel like, Pat, you have the most uphill battle, because I have played Sunshine. Granted, it was back when it came out. And I have played Galaxy in the past, I think, 2 or 3 years. But Odyssey I have not played. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but it is brand new to me. So just to let you know about that. So far, I love, Tom, how you mentioned that the game had the nice message about pollution and keeping things kind of clean. That's a nice little wholesome philosophy behind it. Space is pretty cool. Galaxy team, I love that behind it. And mentioned in the Wii controls. And Pat, I like that you mentioned the historical background with Homer and his Odyssey. And, of course, Cappy and all the game controls they had with that. But let's keep that order going. Tom, give me your main argument here. Talk all about this this world of water and pollution.
Well, to begin the game, you're starting off on a plane with Peach, and it's the first time I feel like you ever actually see Mario and Peach going somewhere together, like as a couple. So it's the first sign of a monogamous relationship, rather than Mario gallivanting around with Daisy and Rosalina.
I never thought he was polygamous, but okay.
But afterwards, she gets kidnapped in true Peach fashion, and you are set to save the day from a ink-clad Mario that seems to be besmirking your name, and actually you get charged with cleaning up the island for his crimes. So, yes, he's taking on the responsibility of clearing his name, but at the end of the day, he is a plumber. He is meant to clean things. I believe that is a plumber's, or at least partially part of a plumber's job. And
So you're saying that whether he was wrongfully or rightfully convicted of someone else's crimes, he needed to clean it up anyways?
I cannot debate.
Don't say that.
What a weak argument. I cannot debate.
Oh, hold off here. He has the floor. You can fix this. You can clean up this mess per se.
Regardless of the crimes placed against him, he takes it upon himself to do the right thing in true Mario fashion. And
okay, I like that.
And the gameplay lends itself to that, where you're giving the tool Flood in order to traverse multiple locations. You've got a haunted mansion with a polluted, infested beach. You've got a seashell town that basically is spewing oil, similar to like fracking in the real world. You've got plants that are contaminated that are spreading a disease across this windmill town. It lends itself to this message that pollution in every form is terrible, and sometimes the most unreliable are the most reliable in these situations. At least according to the inhabitants of Isle.
Okay. Anything you want to tell me about the art style of this game, the gameplay mechanics?
The art style, it's a jump from Mario 64. But in terms of comparing it to Galaxy, yes, it is definitely a step down because it's not in HD, and they never actually went back and made an HD remake for whatever reason, despite how decently received this game was. Like, it was received very well. It has like a 92% on Metacritic.
That is very high. And there are the rumors that we're going to talk about a little bit later on, but that's a good point. It's a good point.
But yeah, I would say that most of the processing power is put into water in this game, because it is some of the most beautiful water you will ever see in a video game.
Even on a system that came out, 17 years ago?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I do have to say, I remember the pollution stuff looked really trippy and cool.
That's about it.
All right. That was well said. That was a good argument. We're going to keep moving on to our Guardians of the Super Mario Galaxy team here. Why don't you guys take it away and take us to space?
Okay. Do you want to go first, Joe? Since you...
Okay. I guess so.
No.
So, Super Mario Galaxy, basically Peach gets kidnapped during this Star Festival or whatever it was.
This is ridiculous. I can't believe that.
So, you go out to save her, right? Bowser took her. And, I mean, what I really liked about the game was, usually I don't like Wii controllers at all, but out of a lot of the games that I've played on Wii, this seemed to use the controller like pretty well in a way that I didn't find super annoying. And I liked all the animation in the game. I thought it looked really good, especially for how old the game was when I plugged it in. And I liked all the characters. I thought that the game was incredibly creative with what it came up with as far as worlds and all the little guys that are around and stuff. I love the Lumos or whatever they are. I thought that they were absolutely adorable. Yeah, so I don't know. Devontae, if you want to take it from there, maybe you have some more factual type stuff behind the game.
So, I'm going to go a little bit into gameplay. Like you said, introduce the Wiimote and Nunchuck. And this is the first time I think they introduced the Mario Spin, which is kind of similar to 64 when, you can press B to do like the little punch kick. But this one with just a spin that you can use to attack enemies. Some enemies like Goomba would just die automatically, but some enemies such as like Koopas will either fall into their shell and you can jump on them afterwards. So it had different interactions based off the enemy you're facing. This game also introduced the the first ever co-op mode, or like I should say co-star mode they call it. When somebody else on like if you were playing the game, if somebody else had a Wiimote, they can collect the star bits for you on the side, and I thought that was a pretty cool.
You can see a lot of.
mechanic
You can see like a lot of like the families, with like the younger brother holding the controller and still kind of being able to play along somewhat.
Yeah, because they can shoot the star bits at enemies that might be coming at Mario, and they can collect them for you. Because star bits are actually pretty important in the game, because you can get secret worlds based off feeding these things that were, I think they were just called Fat Lumas, that were inside Rosalina's planet. And if
Those
you feed
things, I have to say, those things are the most adorable inventions for Mario. Unbelievably cute.
You just feed them, and then they just give you a new world to go to. So I think that was pretty important and a good gameplay mechanic to it. As far as the worlds, I think this is one of the longest, other than 64, Mario games. I'm pretty sure it had about 7 worlds with about 5 levels each in it. And those levels each had about six stars you can get through it. So I think it's one of the longest Mario games there is, other than the 64. And this game also had a secret ending when you can play as Luigi, like a Luigi playthrough. So if you collect all 120 stars, this Super Luigi Galaxy unlocks for you, and you can play the whole game as Luigi.
So I gave this game to Joey to play before this. Joey, I need that game back for tomorrow.
Hey, listen, if you know anything about me giving Pat's comics back, you're not getting that game back.
It is lost
That is
forever.
true.
Speaking of Pat, I do just want to say, Pat, we're on Zoom, and Pat changed his name to Tom is a vile piece of shit. Why bother listening? During Tom's argument, and has yet to change it between Devontae and Joey's. So I feel
started to type, but then I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
what
go
else was
on.
I gonna say? This introduced Rosalina for the first time, so you have a whole new character, a goddess basically, that helps Mario get Princess Peach back.
She is pretty all-powerful. I didn't know exactly what they were going for with her at the start, and then by the end I was like, so is she just God floating around space in her magic kingdom of... Well, not magic kingdom, but magical kingdom? Well, that's
Basically.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, and the music in this game. Like,
Oh.
like the music is probably like one of the better Mario games I've ever heard, compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, I forgot that
Especially
was
the
like
final boss against Bowser.
That is fair. I do remember that really good music there. Tom, I am docking points from you for not mentioning the Galaxy Relaxed Island music, because that's...
You mean Sunshine?
Oh, yep, Sunshine. That's what I meant. I am the judge, and I meant...
Yes, the music
I'm docking
person,
points
yeah.
from you, Judge.
Oh, well, docking
I have a
points from
judge's
Pat.
score for the judge, so...
Judge is corrupt. This is all a fluke.
There's a bias here, and I feel like it's being placed upon me.
I will have
and,
order in my court. I swear to God, I will throw you all in jail.
I have one last thing.
Yes.
2 more things. There are a big variety of bosses in this game. You go from like facing Bowser to facing like Dino Piranha, and then there's a variance of Dino Piranha that's fire.
It's not just Iggy, Ludwig, and what's his face.
Or facing the same person over and over again.
Yeah.
And they introduced, I think, a couple of new power-ups in this game, like Boo Bowser, or the Boo Mario, I'm sorry, and like B Mario.
B Mario. I remember B Mario.
They also had the Rainbow Star, which is a variance on the normal star. When Mario becomes like a rainbow, and you see like the, I guess, the other copies of him as he's running behind. It gives him like super speed, and he's also invincible because of the star, you know. And they kind of took a thing from 64 with like the red star. When you wear this, Mario can start flying through the air, kind of how like when you get the flying cap. And then they added Spring Mario, so they added a whole bunch of new power ups in this game.
All right, that's a well thought out argument there. That was great. Pat, what do you have for us for Odyssey?
It's the 8th century BC.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Homer has released his great epic, the Odyssey. The world has changed forever in the form of literature. Epic poetry will never be the same. Now it's the year 2017. Super Mario Odyssey comes out. Is there a connection? It's a really good game. So, I'm making myself
I
laugh.
tried to hold it.
What if we ended it there? And that's it?
That's his
So,
argument.
This one has a ton of worlds, all very fleshed out. You have Desert World, you have Water World, you have New Donk City, which is one of the most fleshed out Mario levels ever, which brings back Paulina from the original Super Mario game, or actually Donkey Kong, I should say, where she was captured by Donkey Kong. It has an intense score where it can go from this whimsical, like, fun, upbeat sound when you're jumping through the pyramids, and then suddenly you get into this boss fight and it just fucking hits you. It immediately sets the mood every single time and gives me chills. You the ability to possess creatures instead of needing mushrooms or flowers or something to give yourself powers, you now gain control of Goombas and stack on top of each other, or you become a hammer bro and you're throwing stuff to break things down, or you could become a tree.
Now I've seen T-Rex Mario. I have not seen Tree Mario.
You can become a tree and like you can move to the left a little bit. That's badass stuff. But also T-Rex Mario. So that's cool. And an onion. You can become an onion. And like that then you can grow taller, so that was awesome.
Are there other foods you can be or just onion?
I'm pretty sure you can become other foods. I think you become like a carrot at one point. You can become a car and a tank. So those are really cool. Yeah, so like you get a lot of weird new abilities, and it allows you to interact with the environment in different ways. You can go through pipes and enter the wall and become like 8-bit Mario from the original and run around in there.
A lot of Link to the Link Between Worlds kind of vibes.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. In that sense, exactly. Definitely. Man, I'm pulling out a U and saying a lot. In this game, Mario is forced to go on this adventure to save Peach. I know, in a totally new way. You've never seen that kind of thing before. Peach getting kidnapped by Bowser, right?
Very interesting. Interesting.
What? But he also captured the Princess Tiara, this like little tiara person. So that's why Mario needs to team up with Cappy so they can save both their princesses.
See, I did not know that. That is interesting.
Yes. And to do so, Cappy gets this ship for him that's this giant hat, because everything's about hats now. And he has to power it with moons, which is why he keeps crash landing on different worlds and having to collect all these different moons. And it makes it very much makes it like really easy to get enough moons to complete the world, but then you want to keep exploring because you know there's more to do. And once you've unlocked all these moons, eventually when the game is done, you can unlock Dark Side of the Moon, where you travel to a different area of the actual moon, like Earth's moon, and you can go through fighting some of the main bosses of the game, these rabbit people, one after the other, to get to the end. And if you die against any of the bosses, you start over from the beginning.
Are there any references to Pink Floyd and the Dark Side of the Moon?
Would it get me points if I lied and said yes?
No, I'm not going to dock points if there's not, because that's a very subjective point of view, but I am going to personally be saddened by that.
No. After that, you get Darker Side of the Moon, which is my favorite level in Super Mario Brothers history, where Mario has to go through all sorts of different areas that are references to all the levels throughout the game, and use his ability to possess things, to possess all the different types of creatures he's needed to possess and use their powers to traverse. And if you die at any point, you start over from the beginning. And it is a massive challenge of skill that you have to pour a lot of time in and memorization of what you have to do, because there's no moment for Mario to really take a breath.
Oh, one of those quick moving things. Okay.
You have to keep going. It is super intense and it is super fun. I think
Okay.
Super Mario Odyssey, almost said Galaxy, is the most fleshed out Mario Brothers yet, and really just brings us back to the golden age of Mario and brings us further into the future of what Mario has the potential to be.
Okay. Very well said. At this point, I'm going to open up the floor for cross-pause examinations. In that this is going... Yeah, I said that. I'm the judge.
Why?
Because I can. Tell me I can.
Didn't agree to this.
It's too late. You're in my court now. So there's no structure to this. I want you guys to just start making points at each other, throw some accusations out there. I'll make
Those
objections if you're too far.
Those stars are fat. They're fat and they need to be fed bits, and they're greedy. They're just greedy, fat, lump stars.
Pat, that's not going to work with me. Those things are probably my favorite thing in any Mario game. They're so fucking cute.
They're so adorable that I decided just to feed them for the fun of it sometimes. Just
It's
to see them say,
adorable, man.
yum.
Brian, in Super Mario Odyssey, you can play catch with a dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, but Super
They're too pure.
Mario Galaxy has penguins, and you can surf on manta rays.
Can you kill the penguin like in Mario 64, or do they stop you from doing that?
The penguins that I ran into, they were your friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do have something though. Super Mario Sunshine. I know Mario's supposed to be a platformer, but I feel like Flood limits that ability to platform where you have to worry about water.
In what way? I mean, yes, you have the jetpack and hovering is the main source of transportation, but I never felt like I was limited in where there was water.
Well, I don't know if you remember the Rico Harbor level. There was water everywhere, but I think there's about 4 or 5 stars you have to get on that level. When you can't even, so they even take Flood out of that for like 4 or 5 stars, because all you do is surf around on the freaking manta rays, and if you hit something, you die. So why does Mario die when he hits water all of a sudden when you can swim in the water and get water?
I mean, I can't speak to how they coded the game, man.
What if Tom was like, well, I talked to the developers.
That does bring up one point that is very subjective for me. But if there's one thing I remember from this game, Sunshine, that I really did not like, it is definitely that shitty sandbird flying in the sky.
That was not that
Oh,
bad,
and the
but
Sierra Beach level, like when you first get there, who wants to fight a giant, manta ray that
yes.
divides into a million other manta rays? So you're just spending 20 minutes trying to find these mini manta rays across this whole map, and you have to kill them all.
It's not hard if you use the barrels.
There we go. There we go.
Start
Come on.
spinning, shooting in circles. You kill about 20 of them in one go.
And you
It's
still
not
have
that
to find the mini ones that are flying around.
It's not that hard.
There could be one that's left, and you're still looking for it.
Maybe it's the manta ray that I had troubles with. Was the manta ray on like some like sunset beach?
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
That's the
Yeah,
one
I didn't
that
like the
sucks.
manta ray. Sorry,
Why
not
would
the
they
shitty
ever put that in
sandbird.
there?
It was the shitty manta
It's
ray.
not that difficult of a level.
Oh, it was the manta ray.
Yeah, everybody
I
said
hated that
that
thing.
place sucks. Speedrunners hate that place because it's just RNG. No matter how well you do with the barrels, there could be one manta ray that decides to hide in the corner of the map, and you just can't find it because it's the same color as the sunset.
If we're talking about
It's
Sunshine,
green and yellow. I don't know that it's the same color.
The manta ray is like the color of the sunset.
yeah, that orange,
Yeah,
pale.
it's like the orangest thing.
Oh,
And
no,
there's
I'm getting
there's
that
a lot
mixed-
of sand there on that stage, and it could be on the sand.
Is that what
Tough.
Nick's little Zoom profile picture is?
Yes, that is what
Gotcha.
you
Yeah.
see. So I do want to open up the door for Pat here. I want to hear a debate between Flood versus Cappy. Which one's the better companion to have on your journey?
Happy, hands down.
Cappy easily. Cappy is so great. Lets you possess enemies and create new powers for yourself in various different ways. Also, you can throw Cappy to use it as a platform when you don't have one to go further, and adds in like this extra special double jump. and he has a ton of personality. Like, he actually feels like a fleshed out character. By the end of the game, when you finish Darker Side of the Moon, there's this great moment of him sort of thanking Mario for the journey they've shared together, and it feels emotional and earned.
Tom?
Flood starts out as essentially just a thoughtless cleaning robot, but by the end, she seems to actually give a shit about Mario and the inhabitants of Isle Delfino.
So you're saying
So
that robots do have sentience?
I'm saying that it was ahead of its time with AI development. That's what I'm saying.
Get out of here.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Now, I do have another thing between Odyssey and Galaxy. Both of them sound like they were very much journeys, where as Sunshine was like, look, you're on this beach, you're enjoying the beach life, the sand, the sun. It's all great. For Odyssey and Galaxy, it was you are flying around to a beehive, and now you're in New Donk City, and now you're, it's very much that kind of journey all over the place feel. So which one of them had better worlds?
Me personally, I think Galaxy. Although I haven't played Odyssey, I'm going to say Galaxy. Because that's the team
That's a
I'm
well
on.
thought out argument.
I'm going to say that Galaxy walked so that Mario Odyssey could run.
Ooh.
There is a lot of worlds to Galaxy, but they are very simple in their layout. There are some more complicated ones, absolutely, but every world in Mario Odyssey is this complex place. And I say complex as in its design. It is simple to traverse and understand. Like, this is a game that is very much meant for all ages. You don't struggle to find where you're going at all. And it's just the Mario Odyssey worlds are a thing of beauty. They are
Okay.
a genuinely breathtaking thing to look at.
My Guardians of the Super Mario Galaxy.
So I'm gonna say that I don't think you can say which one is better, to be precise, to be honest. I would say
Ooh.
that Galaxy would be best if you're looking for more of a stereotypical platformer. Now, it's kind of hard to compare this. I'm going to use an analogy you guys probably know, but it's like comparing modern Sonic to Sega Genesis Sonic. How they changed the platforming aspect of it. And I feel like Galaxy is more on like the original like Super Mario World platformers with the mix of 3D, whereas Galaxy is just all 3D platforming. And sometimes there's not even a lot of platforming. It's more of an adventure than platformer itself.
Okay. That is well said. There's one more thing I want to hear from you guys before we get to our closing arguments. And in one sentence, I want you to tell me about the worst thing about the game that you chose. What is its downfall? What's the bad part of this game? Because we got to be honest about this. So, Tom, what's the worst part of Sunshine?
Yoshi.
What?
Yoshi in that game is difficult to aim his vomiting of fruit, and it's not the best.
Okay.
And he can't swim for whatever fucking reason, despite that game being all about water.
All right. My Galaxy people, what's the worst part of Galaxy?
For me personally, like, although I said it was easy with the Wii remote, I felt like when I was playing this game, sometimes I would just get like dizzy because it changed so much. Like with you'd be upside down and like spinning around like a little planet or something like that, and I'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, where the fuck am I?" And
Motion sickness.
I'm generally like not that good at video games too, so like I would fall off straight into black holes a lot.
I hear you there. I've done that.
But yeah, so that's what was the worst thing about it for me.
I'd probably say I think collecting red coins in some levels can be pretty difficult because if you want to get the Luigi, you have to collect all the red coins in every stage, or every world rather. And that can be pretty annoying, but that's just the case for most Mario games.
All right. Pat, other than shirtless Mario, what's the worst part of Odyssey?
Shirtless Mario is great. You can literally
what are you
play as him in boxers. It's amazing. The actual
His truest form.
let's see. The worst part of the game is that Polyphemus the Cyclops does not make a cameo as a boss fight. All right, that the Odyssey jokes are not landing tonight.
I got it. Okay.
I was literally like, I don't remember fighting.
Yeah.
them all.
I was like, is there a cycle?
Man,
that went over my head.
8th century literature readers here.
I find it funny. I just didn't realize.
So-
that it
Ted
was funny.
thinks
Make
he's
a joke
better
about
than
sirens.
us. He thinks he's better than us.
Yes. The actual worst thing, though, is that on each world there is a moon you have to get. There's actually 2 or 3 moons you have to get by doing a race against these Koopas. And the first one's not bad, but the second one, the race is to traverse.
It gets worse.
It's hard. They make it super difficult to do. And I think there wasn't, for the second one, there wasn't a single world where I didn't have to look up on YouTube the best way to beat them, because you have to find a shortcut, because the guy's just faster than you, and he doesn't fuck up at all. And you have to, like, be able to dive, throw your hat, dive, jump off the hat, dive again, land, roll, run. And it's, you have to never get stunned during the run. That one aspect is difficult.
If there's one thing Mario games don't do well, it's races. Oh my god, do I hate the races they do.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to ask for your closing arguments. I ask that you make it short, just a couple of sentences. And remember that you want to mention that this game fulfilled its vision. It did its best job of being itself. Tom?
I think it accomplishes the position that pollution is bad pretty well, because overall that's what you're trying to do for the Isle. It introduces at least one, I would say, significant new character, Bowser Jr., to the franchise, because it adds another Bowser kid that I think is legitimate, because I think the rest of them aren't technically Bowser's kids. Yeah. And overall, I think it's the most humbling experience Mario's ever had. I don't think...
Wrongly convicted of someone else's crime. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think flying through galaxies is necessarily not going to his ego. He's friends with God now. So
okay.
I just think it's a nice step back from like what Mario has become, which is like a world saver necessarily.
Smaller scope.
Yeah, smaller scope. Like for the new games, you get a lot of variety because you can pretty much go anywhere. In this one, it's very self-contained, and you're on an island. You're going to have tropical themes. So,
okay.
The only difference with that would be the secret worlds, which I would think lend itself to what Super Mario Galaxy is today, because those super worlds are like in an empty vacuum, devoid of your tool flood, and some people I think would say that those are probably the best levels in the game. So.
All right, we're gonna move on to our Galaxy people. Give a couple of sentences summing up the argument you made.
Okay, I'll go. I think that Super Mario Galaxy is just an insanely creative game as far as Mario games that I've ever played. It was just incredibly fun just to see what was going on in the game and to see all the new characters and stuff. I thought that the gameplay was really fun, and like Devontae said earlier, I was really taken aback by the music. Like I truly loved the music in this game.
Devontae?
So yeah, I mean, I think this is the first time Mario ended up in space, and I think that they, especially for a Wii game and how it looked, I think that they did a really good job of portraying space between like the gravity, like on the planets, or even shifting planets to like launch stars, and they made it really unique animations to do so. But made it all fun by having all the different power-ups, and you can only get on certain worlds, and introducing new characters like Rosalina and the Lumas. Really made it feel like you were actually on a space, galaxy, like adventure. And I thought they did a really good job with this, so that'd be all I have to say.
Okay. And Pat, summing up Odyssey.
Much as Odysseus slayed the suitors of his wife Penelope, Nintendo slays its goal of writing a love letter to the Mario series. And that's really what this is. Super Mario Odyssey is a love letter to the series as a whole. reintroducing aspects like 8-bit Mario, bringing back enemies that we hadn't seen in a long time. So, there isn't a Mario enemy that doesn't show up in this game. There's so many great tracks, so many bits of fun. New Donk City, where you go through a parade that's dedicated to the original Donkey Kong. The final battle against Bowser, where the two of them are literally competing for Peach's hand in marriage before she realizes she's a strong, independent woman who doesn't need to marry either of them. It's great, and it's just so much fun. Mario is at the highest of highs here.
Okay.
And I truly believe that.
All right. So,
Judge, before you make, I just want to try and earn back those points that you took away from me.
Oh, wait.
No.
I don't know about that.
you can take your brown nose and shove it up your own ass, all right?
Acapella Mario theme song.
All right. So, before I give my results, we're going to wait in anticipation with a segment of True or False with a PH about the Mario franchise.
Jesus Christ.
So, as we wait, and as I also make up my mind, so, tell me, true or false, 2015 was the year of Luigi.
True.
You are all wrong. It was 2013.
Cool.
Fuck.
You're a bunch of idiots.
Your
All
true
right.
and false questions are so dumb.
It was also the worst year in Nintendo history.
All right. Despite receiving high praise, Mario Odyssey couldn't become the #1 Mario game on Metacritic due to the unrivaled regard critics have for Super Mario Bros. 3.
False.
False, I think, because I think it has a 97%, which is crazy high on Metacritic.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
say
false.
true. I think people like the Mario thing.
You would be correct. It is true.
Wow.
Odyssey is the second highest
Really?
rated.
That's
Super Mario Bros.
crazy.
3 is the #1
Still
highest.
the reigning champ. God damn.
Yeah.
Good ass game.
Chubby Mario
Super-
Man.
what's their score?
I did not write down the scores. I do apologize. Probably
Man.
98, 99.
Man, amateur
Probably
judge.
very close.
All right, okay.
Another
And
dot
finally,
point?
I got one more. The world record speedrun for the original Super Mario Bros. Is 4 minutes and 58 seconds, due to glitching and all that, by the superfan Andy Wilkes Cryer in December of 2011.
False.
Oh fucking no! Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm
false.
sorry. You broke up on my end. Which game was this?
The original.
Original? I think that's true. I think you could probably.
I'm going to go with true as well.
All right, Joey and Tom, you guys are idiots. All of that was true, aside from his name. Andy Gardikas is the guy who did it. Andy Wilkes
Yeah.
Cryer is
There's
Andrew
too many
WK.
details. There's too many details. Brian is absolutely going to try
They
to
just
force in as
changed his
many.
name.
I changed his name to Andrew WK's name.
I had a question that I was just wondering. So if you guys went somewhere with Princess Peach and Daphne from Scooby-Doo, who do you think would get kidnapped first?
Definitely Peach.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Peach.
Daphne
Bowser is
Daphne occasionally doesn't get captured. Peach pretty much every time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Peach just tells Bowser where she's going. So
All right. So we've now arrived at the results of our debate today. I want to thank all of you for coming and putting forth the best argument you could. I think it's no surprise that Sunshine did not win. Tom, you did a horrible job.
Damn.
I don't know if I'm inviting you back.
Oh my
Yikes.
I'm joking. He did a nice job of presenting it, but it just didn't connect with me as well as some of these other games between Galaxy.
Well, you just don't care about wildlife. So.
Whoa.
You murder seagulls.
Oh, just because I'm no longer judging you, you have to treat me with respect, huh? I will.
Oh
I can
yeah,
still
like
put you in
every
jail.
fucking episode you do me. Sure. Yeah.
also,
Also-
Mario's not a plumber.
Tom, you're a wonderful person. This podcast couldn't do it without you.
not.
He's a plumber.
They came out and said he was not a plumber.
All right.
I don't give a shit what he says. God.
Also, remember when
As-
Brian disrespected Tom after he helped us out because me and Devontae picked the same video game?
As for the winner, I am going to say that the winner is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Undeniably, it wins regardless of the category, and it's the best Mario game, even if it's not main title. I thank you all for coming, and I hope you have a good day.
So we're kicking him out of the podcast.
Okay. So the actual winner of this debate, I have to go with. I gotta go Super Mario Galaxy.
I will slay you like Odysseus' crew slayed the sacred cattle of heroes.
All right, we're talking.
I'm gonna waterboard you, you fuck.
All right, that's a little much.
You want
That's a little
water
much.
from flood.
All right, so if we're talking about the debate put forth, Pat, you did a really nice
Why
job.
did you choose a judge who hasn't played these games?
I've played two
You
of
made
them.
himself the judge.
I've played two of them. All right. So the reason
I should have been the judge. I played all the games.
the reason I picked Galaxy is because not only were like the worlds and all that interesting and different, like Odyssey, but also the mechanics that they included that you guys mentioned of like the 3D world. While sometimes it could be like troublesome and hard to deal with, it for the most part was handled well and very unique and just something that you just didn't see again. Like,
Do you hate children? Is that why you want to vote for Sunshine? You hate
that's
kids?
good.
I love Sunshine. Sunshine's a great game. Honestly, personally, my favorite. I think I like Sunshine more than Galaxy as a person, but as a judge, based upon I know, based upon what they said, I have to go with Galaxy. I mean, the feeling of this game is so unique and special, and like you said, the music fits it really well. And Pat, you did put a very great argument out about it, and I was very flip-floppy
I feel
between
like
the
most
two.
of the points you're making now are points that you already had opinions on, though.
Yeah, no, I totally think that Brian came in. Like, okay, I'm not going to say that we had a bad argument. I think Devontae did a great job. I think I did less of a good job. So I'm going to give it to Devontae for the credit there. But I will say, I think Maloney came into this knowing that he was going to pick Galaxy.
No. To be honest, I didn't know which one I was going to say until I said it. You guys put very good arguments forth, and I was completely 50-50.
I think Pat did a really good argument. I just want to say that.
No.
I'm going to
That did
fucking
it.
Ithaca, man.
Look, at the end of the day, all these are great games, but one of them had to win, and I mean the way that everything about Galaxy was just done so well.
All right.
Yay!
You're just mad because Odysseus' dog dies.
I didn't even know that.
It's so happy when it sees him after 10 years that it dies on the spot.
Oh no. That's gonna
Really?
happen to the dog in Odyssey?
hmm That's what I'm going to do to it now. I'm going to open up Mario Odyssey. I'm going to kill that dog after that.
Just like the penguin from 64.
What if it just shows up if they make an Odyssey 2 and just dies?
I want to point out that this episode started off talking about how great dogs are, and it ended with Pat saying he's going to murder a virtual dog.
But we still have to talk about the news with Mario.
I think due to time, we're going to save that for our next Mario episode, because this
Glad
is only
we lied to our audience.
this is a one-part episode. We got another episode coming, so you can look out for that. We're going to debate the the offshoots of the different games, and you can probably guess as to what I will pick. And if Pat is the judge, I feel like he'll be a little bit vengeful, but we'll see who the judge is.
Brian is definitely a 1.5 out of 10 judge.
Damn.
Shit.
I meant to say out of 5, but I said out of 10, and I'm going to stick with it, actually.
Shit.
Did I pick the wrong game? Is that it?
I don't know. I'm salty. What do you want?
No, you did fine. You did fine. We're just giving you shit.
Your argument was great. I feel like
I was joking. You don't need to keep qualifying.
I know.
It's okay,
I know.
bud.
It came down to a debate of like how it was presented versus the game itself, and I feel like the game itself I had to go with versus the debate. Because Pat, I loved your debate. Don't give me that look.
What?
I'm confused about what you
Wait,
just
you
said.
didn't go with the debate? You went with the game? What?
I told you.
The objective facts of it, rather than the way it was presented.
One sec. Never mind. Continue.
Got you.
Does that not make sense?
I get you.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, I feel like I
You're
took
going off
out
the facts based off rather than how it is.
like subjectively, Pat presented it in the best way. I really enjoyed him comparing it to Odyssey, and the descriptive words he used to describe it, and how he mentioned there was a dog in it, and Cappy sounds really interesting. But as a game itself, I just feel like what behind that is a game that was like good, but Galaxy was this like
And
reinvention
now
that was
it's time
very
to
much
hit
itself. I don't know.
I don't
Look.
think you have to defend yourself anymore.
There was no right
Yeah,
answer here.
no, you're
there was no
fine.
right answer.
We're fine.
But-
We're just messing with you.
All right, thanks. I'm so glad I was your judge. I hold you all in contempt of court. This meeting is adjourned, and I retire my judgeship until I reign again another day. We hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you agree with me, or at least have your opinions. Tell me if I'm wrong or not, or maybe even thought that 64 or the original should have won. Who knows? The world apparently thinks that Super Mario 3 should have won. But let us know what you thought. Our listening goals have changed. So if we get an episode with 40 listens, we're going to do our drunk episode. So that could be soon. So hopefully we can do that for you. We feel like we get some pretty funny content for you guys there. And if we get 20 subscriptions on YouTube, all you got to do is click subscribe. We will do a video episode. I mean, most likely it'll be us through the Zoom chat because of quarantine and all that, but you'll get to see our beautiful, beautiful faces. So we would love to do that for you as well. So 20 subscriptions on YouTube for that, and then 40 listens on an episode for the drunk episode.
And I just want to say that every episode Brian does is a drunk episode. So if we get 50 views, then we will do an intervention episode where we finally confront Brian.
Next week's topic is my alcoholism. But good news, some awesome stuff is coming. We're going to start streaming at some point. We're going to get up that Twitch channel, and I can't think of a PH pun here for streaming, but we're going to play some games for you, and it'll be great.
Thank God.
I'll come up with one. Don't worry. It's coming. But if you enjoyed this, share it with somebody. As we're all stuck inside, it's great to spend an hour just whisked away to a magical land of judging and debate. So this has been fun. Thank you so much for listening. And Tom, what's our topic next week?
Our topic next week is discussing whether or not Mario really is a polygamist, because now this actually brought up a really good question. He saves a lot of different princesses.
Interesting. We'll have to find out more of that next time. But
I think he just has breakups and then gets back together with people. It's fine.
They were on a break.
Yeah.
they were on a break.
But he's with Rosaline while trying to save Peach.
Miss her. She just
Yeah, they're just traveling together.
Hey, bro, you're not in the same galaxy, you know?
Ooh.
This isn't a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas situation.
It's a state lines deal.
I don't know what to say to that, Devontae.
now we're gonna hit pause.